Hey guys, welcome to another new creature review. This is Omar. How you doing? Today we are checking out Transformers Studio Series number 37, Constructicon Rampage. This is actually my second go at this because guess what? My first go, if you've been following my Instagram, I broke his right arm. I tried to turn something that probably shouldn't have turned, and you know that gut-wrenching queasy feeling you get when you turn something and it turns too fast and you just don't want to let go because you know you broke it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to this guy. So I was able to take this back and I was able to switch it out for a new one. Yeah, I took it over to Target, gave them my receipt, said this is broken. They said okay, and I got my money back. And I drove around to 3 other stores and I found this. And I found another thing too, but we're not going to get into that. I'm going to make that video later today. Yeah, so let's check out this box. We've got our big product window showing off this guy. It's kind of weird though because his head is pointing down instead of pointing forward. So you don't, unless you go something like this, then you can see his face. But I mean, otherwise, you know, it's cool. It's cool. It shows off the figure well enough. We've got our artwork right there. Revenge of the Fallen, Constructicon Rampage. We've got artwork for Devastator right there. I am so excited to get Devastator. You know, this is the second Constructicon that I've gotten from the movie, and man, so far, I mean, other than that break, I have not been disappointed in the least. And I didn't know they had their own logo. Usually it's like this or the Decepticon logo. That's interesting. On this side we have a bust shot of Rampage again. On the back we have our big screen inspired scale detail and backdrop. The normal back of the Studio Series. We've got our product renders right there. 22 steps. Moms and dads and collectors out there, if you're getting these for your kids, this is 22 steps. Just don't try to turn the arm. Yeah, and you'll be fine. Pyramid Desert Battle Scene. That's a cool backdrop. Let's see. Constructicon Rampage lures Sam Witwicky into a trap to force him to give up the matrix of leadership. So yeah, that worked, right? Okay, let's get into this. Yeah, I was not happy that I had to do this, but the upside is I was able to get another figure that I was looking for, which was really cool to see. And yeah, let's pull out the backdrop. So there's our big, beautiful backdrop right there, and we'll cut this guy out of his vacuform coffin. Let's start with the base. So if you've seen pictures of this guy on the internet, you know that he does not have feet. He has this base. And I'm not sure if this is actually supposed to be his foot, or if it's just a fancy, well, it's not even that fancy, just a, you know, a 5mm standing platform. I don't know. So that's that. We'll put that aside. Let's cut him out. Yeah, I'll tell you, I really like all those industrial details that go into Michael Bay Transformers. There's no doubt at all what this guy, I mean, at least parts of him look like, oh man, well, he's got tractor treads, so he's going to be something awesome, right? You know, so this is one of my, like, this is one of the reasons why I like the Michael Bay Transformers so much. Look at all this kibble. This kibble, you know, the kibble makes a Michael Bay figure, and I think they did it beautifully, you know? So let's get him on his stand and see how he looks on his desert battle scene. Okay. Oh, wake up, buddy. There you go. That's really cool. And I want to be so careful with this guy. I don't want to break him again. Because it was so heart-wrenching, guys. I was transforming him off camera and he just like, snap! Oh! So I'm so glad I was able to find another one on the shelf. So let's see. And there we go. He covers up the background. I mean, the background's cool if you're into that, but I mean, this is stylized for him. So I guess maybe if you turn it a little bit, or I don't know, maybe flatten it out a little more. Anyway, this is not a backdrop review. This is a Transformers review. So let's get rid of this and get to it. All right. Let's check out his details. I really like what they picked out here. The little gray bits on his spine right here. And then the silver bits. Yeah, that's silver paint. And all the pistons and all the little cogs and the pipes and everything. And I really like, again, I really like the kibble. You know, you just look at this and you're like, oh my, this guy right here. You can see that parts of these are tractor treads. You can see parts of it are like just like railings and little pistons to move the scoop. It just looks really good. And there's the cab right there. And I like this. This is kind of, at least to me, this kind of reminds me of Evangelion. You know, this kind of ribbing right here through the body. Kind of reminds me of that. I mean, even his hunched over head kind of reminds me of that. But then he has no feet. So, whoop, there's his foot. But look, he has like these silver, it looks like screw heads right there, like flathead screws right there. And then we have this spiral piece going down in the middle right there, like a worm drive or something. That looks cool. And all of this little pipe work right here. Then all these little gears and wheels and all these things that just look like they're supposed to move. Oh man, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, let's take a look at his face. Yeah, it's ugly. I mean, here he's with his buddy what's his name? Scrap Metal. Yeah, they both look very bug-like, and I really like that. I like that stylization. It's kind of because especially when I heard that these guys are supposed to kind of have a hive mind, so it kind of makes more sense that they have more bug-like qualities. Granted, a lot of them still have bug-like qualities, like Starscream's face is pretty ugly, and Megatron's face is pretty nasty. But this, I mean, you can see mandibles in the front. That's really cool, you know, silver mandibles. And then we got these black panels around the eyes. The head sculpt is very finely detailed, and the paint is nice too. I couldn't say that for Scrap Metal's head because it just looks like someone hit it with a black paintbrush and just kind of did this to it. You know, that's you know, if it's going to vary, at the very least, you know, I mean, this guy's going to be Devastator on my shelf. He's not going to be a bunch of random Constructicons. So, you know, at the very least, they can hide their faces. So that's cool. Let's check out his articulation. This is on a side-to-side hinge and a ball joint. So you've got a little bit more range right there. It's pretty cool. And his neck, I mean, he was packed in like that, so it goes up about that far. He can look up, he can look down. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. There's more detail right in there. That's really nice. Let's see. Okay, so we've got, it's like one giant foot. So we've got this, ow! Ooh, that's sharp. Yeah. Um, we've got a nice clicky ratchet right there. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like, okay, it's an ab crunch maybe. And then maybe a waist ratchet right there. And then, no, hip ratchet. We'll call that a hip ratchet. Because, I mean, this is the waist ratchet right here. And that's really nice and clicky. That's nice and sturdy right there. We've got butterfly joints in the shoulders. They go in that far, probably for transformation. I didn't get that far in transformation the first time around. We've got full rotation on a swivel. We've got a hinge going out like this. Goes up that far. There is no. This is where I messed up big time. We've got this, and that rolls out. I don't know. Kind of. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to do. But there is no hinge in here, and I thought this is supposed to turn. So I turned it, and I wrenched it off, and it was so sad. Okay, so his claw hands. He has all of this right here. He's got these fingers. It has swivel right there. And then we've got fingertips. Closes up that far. Same on this side. Closes up that far. So he can grab. He can definitely grab someone and mess them up pretty bad. We've got thumb articulation. I'm going to call that a thumb, even though it's forked like that. So it goes down that far, goes up that far, and it can flip back and forth like that. I guess if you really want to, you can do that too. And it's the same on both sides. So you see, yeah. And his foot does that. So, oh, and his base has one point of articulation, just this right here. I think that works into the transformation if I remember that correctly. So that's that. Let's do a few size comparisons, and then we'll get to transformation. All right, here he is with some of his Decepticon brethren. We got Voyager Starscream, Voyager Megatron, Deluxe Lockdown, and Deluxe Stinger. And here we have him with some Autobots. I'm going to call him Leader Class. Leader Class Jetwing Optimus Prime, Deluxe Class Bumblebee, and Voyager Class Optimus Prime. And finally, we have his fellow Constructicon Scrap Metal. I just wanted to show you the size comparison. We've got a Deluxe and a Voyager Class. And this is one of the cool things that I like about this set in particular. We're getting different size classes to make this this Devastator. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I like having different sizes to make one giant Gestalt figure. All right. Let's see. Let's get this guy transformed, and we'll get to it. All right, here he is in alt mode, little bulldozer. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not like the transformation on this guy. There are just too many tabs. There's tabs right here, tabs all underneath. This tab's in. You know, it doesn't tab very well. These tab, see, it's like there's a big gap right there. I don't like that. Otherwise, see, that one's nice. That one's nice, but I don't know what's going on with this one. Oh, there we go. I don't know. But yeah, you know, let's zoom in on the details here. And it's a nice alt mode. They do a really good job. You've got your nice tractor treads here. You got this bar right here going to the shovel. That right there. Now that this tabbed in nicely, it looks really good. You know, it looks like it has that function, that function of a bulldozer right there. Got our pistons right there, probably some hydraulic pipes. Let's go around. That looks weird. I'd imagine that would be closed off on a real bulldozer. And you got his thumbs. I don't know what this is about. I don't even think they were mentioned in the instructions, but they do tab in right here, and then these fold down. So that's cool. You know, and we got all the kibble that I liked so much in bot mode, just kind of shining through in the alt mode. It looks nice. I just didn't like the process of transformation. One of his fingers comes in right here, like you can see right through in here. It comes through, and then there's a slot underneath this panel right here that goes that the finger tabs into, and it kept sliding out, and it was just kind of frustrating, you know. Not too big of a deal. Once it's in, it's in. I mean, this looks pretty solid. You know, this is weird, but this is actually for this serves a purpose. When you put that up, the wheel is no longer touching the ground. So underneath, oh, hello, hi everybody. I was just wondering what you guys were doing today. Oh! Yeah, so he has the wheels over here. These have to tab in as well. They're on like a little fork, and then there's a tab on the on this side, on the outside, that they have to tab into. And if you don't, they slide back in, and then you don't have the rolling function. And that's just kind of a bummer. It kept sliding out on me. But like I said, once it's in, it's in. So that's not a big deal. And the that foot plate is right there. So yeah, I think for the most part, bot mode is hidden. Right here, though, it's like, don't look at my back, just look at my front. All right, let's zoom back out, and we'll do the only size comparison that matters. Here he is with his buddy Scrap Metal. All right, I'm going to get this guy in foot mode so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll get him into bot mode. All right, here's foot mode. That is incredible. This is going to be humongous. It looks nice. One note though, that piece that broke off is supposed to move. It's this top panel right here. It's supposed to twist around to allow for these the thumbs to tab together. But the one I had before was sealed. It was a frozen joint, so when I turned it, it just broke. These ones, they were sealed too, but just a little bit of wiggling, they popped off. I was talking to a friend on Instagram about that. It's not, you know, I didn't give it too much pressure, but it was enough to break it. But I mean, that's definitely something to watch out for while transforming this. Just keep your receipt ready, and make sure that you know that you can find a replacement just in case that breaks. Once the seal is broken, it is okay. So you don't have to worry about that. All right. So that is it. That's his foot mode right there. That's going to be huge. That looks amazing. That is too much right there. Yep. Oh, these didn't tab in properly either. That's okay. Yeah. And you can see something's going to slide in here and something's going to tab in here. And then it's going to click in like that. Yeah. Definitely. There's there's a rail right there. Something's going to slide in, something's going to tab in, and then it's going to look a little more clean, because that doesn't look like that doesn't look like any good molding right there at all. Right here at the bottom it does, but something's going to click onto the top of that and make this thing look a little more cohesive. That is so cool though. Oh man. All right, let's get this guy back into bot mode and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, here he is back in robot mode. One thing to note, when you are transforming this guy, let's zoom in a little. There is a tab right here. Now, when mine broke, it was definitely a joint, a frozen joint, because when it would twist it, it sheared off. So there is a tab right here. You can see it right there. And it just nestles in there. And it comes back around and goes into this tab too, for that foot mode transformation. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are paying attention to how joints move. Yeah, it's funny. I did a Mega Man repair video on Instagram, and then moments later, I break this guy, and it's like, oh man, that's really embarrassing. But you know, I mean, you live and you learn, you know. So yeah, make sure you're watching out how joints move. If it's not going for you, hit it with some hot water, hit it with some heat. Try to break up that mold, or that seal, because sometimes it's glue, sometimes it's paint, sometimes it's just something seeping out of the plastic. But you know, just watch out for it. Be mindful of it, and you know, as long as you respect it, I think it's going to be good for you. All right, so that's this guy. He's ugly. He is so ugly, and that's one of the coolest things that I like about these Michael Bay style Transformers. There is no doubt he looks disgusting. He looks menacing. He looks like a bad guy. And that's not to put anything in a stereotype, but you know, I mean, look, are you going to go up to, in nature, are you going to go up to something that has a face like this? No. Are you going to put your hand out to it? Be like, oh, it's just a friendly woodland creature. No, it's going to bite your hand off, and then it's just going to eat you. You know, it's going to devour you until you're nothing left. You know, so you know, that's one of the things I appreciate most about these, especially these lately. They just look disgusting, you know, and I love it. I appreciate this design right here, you know. I kind of imagine he's like, I don't know, like kind of a Final Fantasy kind of, you know, like a summon or a familiar or something, where he just floats in like do 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 do, you know. But that's kind of how I imagine it, and this is just for convenience, so we don't have to, like, you know, put him on a dedicated action stand or anything. The articulation, it's all right. It would have been nice to know if that was like going to break the first time around. I'm not going to let that go, because you know, quality control, man. It shouldn't have been that bad, you know. At the very least, the little tab that's going in here, it's a shallow tab, but it should have just broke, you know, and then it should have turned. And that should have been the end of it, but it did not. It did not go at all. It just sheared off, like I said. Yeah, that is minus points for this guy, you know. But otherwise, wow, you know, I'm still impressed, and I'm still glad to have him in my collection. This is definitely one of those ones where I say, if I get a chance to get a second one, I just might. I mean, you know, I don't care about scrap metal. He's very generic, but this one, man, Rampage looks amazing. It's so unique, and all of that industrial looking kibble. Like I said, I'm a sucker for it. I love it. Love it. and you know, it's got that studio series shine. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's pretty good, you know. So that's my final thoughts, and that's it for my review. Tell me what you think about this guy in the comments below. Are you getting Devastator? I know I am, and I said in the last review I wasn't sold on him, but now I am. You know, just seeing how big it's going to be and how detailed it's going to look, I'm 100% sold. Um, yeah. What are your thoughts about this? Like, I definitely separate the toys from the movies because the movies just kind of made everything so convoluted. It's like, what's happening here? Uh, you know, but the designs are beautiful. They're amazing. They're grotesque. They just do the job, you know, and they do it really well. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this review, give me a like. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I put new stuff up on the channel. I'm going to be taking pictures of this guy, so watch out for that on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching.